Every woman tests a man, not with words, with behavior. And if you do not understand what she is actually doing, if you are waiting for something obvious, something direct, something that removes all doubt, you will miss it completely. Because when a woman wants you, she does not announce it. She does not say, "I am ready" or "I have decided." Instead, her actions become louder than her voice. And the men who understand this language, who can read what her body is communicating before her mind has given it permission, those are the men who never wonder where they stand. Here are 6 signs that reveal when a woman has already made her decision about you. The first sign is that her presence around you changes in ways she cannot fully control. Pay close attention to how a woman exists in your space versus how she exists everywhere else. A woman who feels nothing toward you will maintain comfortable distance. She will protect her energy without effort because there is simply nothing pulling her in your direction. But a woman who wants you cannot help drifting toward you. It happens like gravity, subtle, consistent, and almost entirely outside her conscious direction. She sits closer than the situation requires. In a group, she angles her body toward you even when the conversation is pointed elsewhere. She finds small reasons to remain in your proximity when she could easily move on. And it is not just the physical nearness. It is the quality of her presence around you. Her voice softens. She laughs more easily. Her posture loses the careful defensive tension that most women carry when they are uncertain or uninterested. Something in her visibly relaxes. Her guard comes down without her making the decision to lower it. And that involuntary relaxation tells you something no amount of deliberate behavior ever could, that being near you feels like somewhere she is safe. The second sign is emotional vulnerability directed specifically at you. Most people assume desire looks like a bold stare, a direct comment, an unmistakable signal. But in real psychology, the strongest indicator is far more delicate than that. It is the moment she looks at you and looks away quickly. That small, almost imperceptible break in eye contact that happens before she can compose herself. That tiny involuntary response means you made her feel something she was not yet ready to show. Her nervous system registered you before her mind had a chance to manage the reaction. You might notice her glancing at your lips while you speak, touching her neck, her collarbone, her hair, not because she decided to, but because her body is responding to something building beneath the surface. These are signals that emerge before conscious thought intervenes. And when she genuinely trusts you, something deeper appears alongside them. She begins sharing things she does not tell everyone. Not random stories, specific ones. Her fears, her past, the parts of herself she has spent years keeping carefully contained. A woman will never give a man her complete trust without feeling emotionally safe first. When she begins opening those doors, even slightly, she is preparing to open everything. The emotional vulnerability comes first. Everything else follows from it. The third sign is subtle physical closeness that escalates gradually over time. When a woman wants you, she begins finding small reasons to make physical contact. Not obvious contact. Light contact. A brush of her hand. Straightening your collar. Adjusting something near your wrist. Momentary touches that could be explained as casual, but that happen with a frequency that reveals intention. Women do not touch men they feel nothing for. Physical contact requires a decision to enter someone's personal space, and that decision is never entirely accidental. She is testing how your proximity feels, how you respond to her nearness, how safe it is to get closer. She is building familiarity with you physically before she has the confidence to act on what she is feeling more completely. Pay attention to the escalation. Early on, the contact is brief and deniable. Over time, it lasts slightly longer. Her hand stays on your arm a beat longer than it needed to. She leans into your space when she could have stayed at a comfortable distance. She lets contact breathe rather than pulling away. That progression from brief to sustained, from deniable to deliberate, is one of the clearest physical patterns of growing attraction you will ever observe. The fourth sign is that her behavior becomes inconsistent in a very specific way. A woman who is indifferent about you is consistent. She is the same across all interactions. Pleasant perhaps, polite certainly, but emotionally flat. There is nothing to hide, and therefore nothing to manage. But when a woman is feeling more than she is ready to admit, her behavior starts reflecting that internal conflict. One day she is warm and engaged and completely present. The next she is slightly distant, slightly cooler, not as immediately available. Then she comes back closer than before. This push and pull is not confusion. It is not indecision. It is fear wearing the mask of distance. She is feeling something stronger than she anticipated, and pulling back is her attempt to protect herself from the exposure of that. But the feelings keep pulling her forward regardless. That cycle, forward, retreat, forward again, retreat less far each time, is one of the most honest signals that a woman's attraction has moved beyond casual interest into something she is actively trying to manage. Because people who feel nothing do not need to manage anything. The fifth sign is that she starts studying you in ways she does not fully realize she is doing. A woman who wants you watches you differently from how she watches everyone else. Not your appearance, your character. She observes what makes you calm, what makes you certain, how you handle moments of pressure, how you treat people when nothing is at stake. She is not collecting information for its own sake. She is conducting a quiet assessment of whether you are someone she can safely open to completely. Because for a woman, the decision to give herself, emotionally, physically, fully, is not a small decision. It requires a man whose temperament she understands, whose stability she has witnessed, whose depth she has had the chance to measure. You may have caught her looking at you when she thought you were not paying attention. That was not casual observation. She was memorizing you, storing specific details about how you move, how you speak, what you look like when you are completely unguarded. Women observe the men they want with an intensity that is quiet but completely focused. And when what she finds confirms what she already feels, when the person matches the pull she has been experiencing, her remaining walls begin coming down one by one. The sixth and most powerful sign is that she makes herself available in ways that rearrange her actual life. This is the sign that removes all ambiguity. She stays up later than she intended just to keep talking. She replies faster than someone genuinely busy would reply. She cancels plans she had previously committed to because an opportunity to be near you appeared. She remembers the smallest details of things you mentioned days ago, not because she wrote them down, but because your words found somewhere to stay in her mind after the conversation ended. A woman who is close to surrendering to her feelings for you does not just enjoy your presence. She anticipates it. She thinks about what she will say before she sees you. She adjusts how she looks because the idea of you seeing her has entered her awareness. She prepares for you, not consciously always, but genuinely, because you have become someone whose attention matters to her more than she may be ready to say directly. And then comes the clearest confirmation of all. She stops being afraid of being alone with you. She desires it. She creates the conditions for it without making the desire obvious. If she invites you somewhere private, if she stays when she had a natural exit available, if she closes the physical distance when she could have maintained it, she has already chosen you. The decision was made before she said a word. Here's the truth that ties all 6 of these signs together. Attraction rarely announces itself with bold declarations or unmistakable gestures. It hides in the small involuntary responses that a woman cannot entirely control, in the way her body moves toward yours when no one is directing it, in the way her voice softens specifically around you, in the way she looks away just quickly enough to tell you that you affected her. The men who miss these signals are waiting for something that was never going to come in the form they expected. The men who see them clearly understand that desire speaks quietly long before it speaks at all. When these signs appear, not once but consistently, across multiple interactions, forming a pattern rather than an isolated moment, you are not imagining anything. That is not wishful thinking. That is her telling you in the only language she currently feels safe enough to use. Pay attention. Respond with calm. And let her come to you.